Warcraft, directed by Duncan Jones, starring Toby Kebbell, Travis Fimmel, and Paula Patton, it's based upon the popular video game World of Warcraft. Now, I know I'm a bit late with this review, which, in my opinion, better late than never. But I'm not really very familiar with Warcraft. I played it a little bit, like I'm talking about like the free trial, and that was about it. So I went into this film with a pretty open mind, and I think I was able to sort of criticize it better that way and not be so biased as like, oh, this was nothing like the video game, or be like, oh, this was a great movie because I have no idea what this is about. But I feel like I kind of fell in the middle because this movie was highly criticized, but I feel like I'm very in the middle about it, which I think is kind of a good thing. So the central story of Warcraft is that the orcs world is dying. So their best option is to create this portal which takes them to the human world, and this fictional world of Azeroth is the name of like the land where they are, where the humans are. So their plan is to basically colonize it, but of course they have to go to war with the humans and to take over this land. And of course the humans are not psyched about this, and they quickly basically get pushed to the brink of war with the orcs in order to keep their land. Now that's basically the central story of Warcraft. Now let me tell you that the visuals to this film are absolutely stunning. The orcs are so photorealistic at times. The environments are so photorealistic at times. It's kind of scary. Like, there were moments where I completely forgot that these are fictional CG characters. Like, Jungle Book did a great job with animals, but orcs, you can see the pores on their faces. You can see the sweat on the top of their heads. You can see the drool coming out of their mouth, the scratches, the scars, the battle marks, like the little indents in their teeth. Like, there's so much detail in a lot of this film, and even in the environments, that it's so stunningly beautiful and completely sucks you in. But on the downside of that, when the orcs start interacting with humans and you start bringing in live action characters, it sort of falters a little bit. And I just felt like it took me out of the movie at times, which was kind of difficult to jump back in it when you see something so stunning and then something kind of basically half-assed, and then go back to something stunning. It's very fluctuating, and it's kind of hard to stay in that moment. As for the story, it felt also somewhat uneven. Like, there are times where they completely thought out what they were going to do, especially in the orcs. Everything that they did orcs for this film was great. When they move away from that, it gets a little bit faulty. Travis Fimmel plays like this badass knight character who basically can do it all. But his major flaw is in the story, as you find out, is basically his son. He has a super massive soft spot for his son. And I feel like they kind of force that relationship on us, that he really cares about his son and loves his son more than anything. And there are times where you're like, okay, we get it. And then it shows in the performances. I feel like you're forcing this relationship, trying to make me believe that it's real, but you're overacting it to the point where I don't believe it's real. But also there's this orc half-breed played by Paula Patton. I forget her name. But essentially it just looks like Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, at least in my opinion. It looks like Gamora with like a massive underbite so that she has like the teeth, orc teeth. Another thing that really threw me off about this film story-wise is the introduction of magic. Now, magic is a massive part of World of Warcraft. I know that much about it. But when they introduce it, when the characters like the mage and like the wizard guy, played by Ben Foster, who they call the Guardian, basically just a wizard, when they start doing their magic thing, it doesn't feel right. Like, the magic looks cool. It definitely looks cool when they start doing their finger thing, whatever you want to call it, and making the circles and all that stuff to transport them places. That was really cool. But like when they start adding in like the words of magic, I don't know what you call it, words of magic, magic spells, let's just call it spells. When they started doing the spells, it just threw you off because it sounded like they just were making it up on the spot. Like, they didn't actually try and write words for the spells. They were just sort of like, and then bam, like alakazam. Possibly the most frustrating thing about this entire film to me, they definitely set this film up for sequels. Like, the way that it ended, the ending is probably one of the most frustrating things because there were some things that happened towards the end of this movie I was not a fan of. Because even if you look on the IMDb page for this film, It says Warcraft, the beginning. So you know they're setting this up for a sequel, maybe even a trilogy. They definitely want to make this a franchise. They set it up in a way that I felt like they should have just bookended it and then maybe done a sequel later. They were just like, let's do this one thing and stretch it out over 3 movies. Like, kind of like a Hobbit situation. Whereas I felt like they should have just made their one solid movie, bookend it perfectly, make a really good film, and if it's good enough, make other stories related to Warcraft. Overall, I have to give Warcraft a solid C. Now, the visuals were definitely there for a solid 70 to 75% of this film, which definitely make up the C grade. The orcs were fantastic, and the action was fantastic. Other than that, everything else just sort of took you on this roller coaster of, oh, we're going to do some cool stuff, and then it just sort of plateaued and stayed flat the rest of the time. Like they forgot to make a full movie. It's like when you buy a video game now and it's half of it's DLC. You don't want to buy a game worth $60 and then buy another $90 worth of DLC. You want to buy a $60 game that has the whole package in it. If you guys have seen Warcraft, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? But if you've seen it, let me know down in the comment section below. If you missed it, just in case, I posted a video just the other day about some channel changes that I'm doing, some new concepts I'm doing, stuff like that. I'll also leave a link to that down in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. And we'll see you guys in the next one.